Okay, so today I'm drinking a Malbec. And let's see how this goes. I don't know why I'm saying let's see how it goes because I drink this all the time. I'm joking. This needs a little bit more. Okay. I swear guys, wine makes me dance like all the time, like it's life. Woo! Yes. Okay, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, this is just so exciting. I feel a little bit better this time around going into this, and I just can't wait to get started. So today anyways, we're going to be discussing, I made a few notes because I don't want to forget anything. But before we get any further, if you guys have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. Just down below, just click like, comment and subscribe if this video is of any use to you. And I appreciate everyone else that's subscribed so far, guys. Like, it means the world. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Entail. Some people call me Ashley. And I've been on the H2B program here in the States for over 2 years now. So today I'll be discussing what goes into being an H2B visa. I will basically answer a few questions on what is an H2B program, what is an H2B visa, how much it costs to come onto the program or to actually be here in the United States, and the requirements that you would meet for the H2B visa, or the requirements that, what am I saying? Yes, the requirements of the H2B visa, the visa approval process, what goes on in the consulate interview when you're interviewing for your visa, what it is exactly, this consulate interview, because I feel like even when we went on this, we had a misconception of what it actually is, how long the H2B process actually takes for you to get your visa and to be here in the States. If there's any age restrictions, I'll go into that as well. Traveling expenses and costs. So just so that you guys are prepared when you're coming this side, what you need to bring and so on. And then I'm just gonna go through a few pros and cons of the whole H2B program. So yeah, guys. So the last time I was called out for not finishing my glass of wine, so now I'm trying so hard to not talk too much and forget about my wine, which is just not okay. So basically right now I'm going to be going through what an H2B program is and how I got to come here in the United States, and I'm going to try and explain it as easily as possible. To my knowledge, guys, you know, obviously each and every one of us on this program has had a different experience. So this is my experience and what I did to get to where I am right now. So an H2B visa is a temporary work visa that you get while you're still in South Africa. I got this while I was still in South Africa, and it basically gives you leeway to move around the United States, like to travel different states. So either you're in Florida or you go up north to New York or wherever, and so on. It is a non-immigrant visa, which basically means that you are not an immigrant of the United States. You are just here for work purposes, and it is 6 months. You get to move around every 6 months. The visa is valid for 6 months. You can renew it for up to 3 years. So 6 months you would get the visa, and then you can renew it once you go to another employer. Let's say you go up north to New York, then you can renew it for another 6 months for up to 3 years. The different jobs that you would get under the H2B program is basically servers, it's serving, it's being a cook or a chef as we call it, groundskeepers, lifeguards, I just recently learned this, but apparently you can also come here and work as a traveling carnival worker, and also an entertainer. I don't actually know what that entails, because I'm here on the hospitality aspect, which is serving and being a cook and so on. And you can also come here as, I think I already said, housekeeper. I'm not sure, so I hope I'm not rambling. And what else am I forgetting? So yeah, guys, so that's what it entails. And then the other thing that I just learned is that you can actually come here and work in forestry and so on, which I'm not gonna go into it because I don't know, guys. So the nice thing about being on the H2B program is that as much as it looks like it's a lot of money compared to other programs and other ways that you could actually get to the United States, this is pretty cheap. Which says a lot. It is a lot of money. I know when I first started on the program and I was still in South Africa, I did not even know like where I was gonna get this money. But basically what you would be paying for is, I think $190. It's $190, guys, for the visa fee. So that's the amount that you would need to have to apply for this visa. That works out to, I think when I calculated it, it was about 3,000 rands. This is how much I think I paid back in 2019 when I got here. So about 3,000 rands. It also says, I looked it up as well on Google, and it mentioned something about a $460 processing fee. I don't know anything about this, guys. So I was even asking some of my friends on the program, and they were saying that this, what we concluded is that this is the amount that the agent or the employer would pay when they're doing your visas, because they're the ones that also process the visas. So this is the amount that they would be paying. It's not something I definitely know for a fact. I don't know if other people's experiences are different, but I know for a fact that I did not pay this $460, which works out to about 7,000, if not more, rands. I did not pay this, so I don't know. But all I had to pay on my side was the $190, which was like $3,000, and that was it from my side. One of the things that is a requirement is that the employer, the person that's employing you to come and work here in the United States, has to be a citizen of the United States. So if it's a hotel that you're coming to work for, it's going to have to be, obviously, which probably, but it will be a citizen of the United States. The employers must need you to work seasonal. Like I've mentioned, it's only a seasonal visa. You can't be here for, let's say, a year. There's different visas that you can go into, but for the H2B visa, you'd need to be here seasonal. The employer, sorry guys, it's getting a little thirsty there. So the employer needs to be, they say that in order for them to hire us, South Africans or Romanians or guys, they hire from so many places, Irish people, Bulgarian, whatever, Jamaicans and so on. So in order for them to hire outside of the country or us foreigners, they need to be able to, or they need to be unable to fill the position here in the United States. So they need to be unable to find people that are qualified to do their job here in the United States. And if nobody's willing to do their job like it currently is at the moment, there's a shortage in workers in the hospitality industry, like cooks and so on. So during COVID, it's been like a real thing and a big thing. So if they can't find anyone here in the United States, then they have to be able to, then they can go ahead and look for employees or stuff outside of the country. Oh, this thing is cutting me short, guys. And the other thing that I'm forgetting, so the employee needs to be part of the, you need to be a citizen of the eligible countries. There's about 80 countries, when I googled it, that can actually go onto the H2B visa. Like I just mentioned a few, like Romania, Ireland, Portugal, Jamaica. So there's like 80 of them. So you can actually Google this yourselves, guys. I'm just giving you a little bit of like a rundown of exactly what the visa entails and so on. And you must also have another requirement, you must also have a valid offer. So you can't go on the H2B program if you haven't been offered a job. So if you haven't gotten a job, you have to go through like the interview process, and then you can, once you get a job, then they have to send you the offer letter, and only then can you start applying for the H2B visa. So you need to have a job offer letter stating that you actually coming to the United States to work. You must also be willing to, or the very important thing is that you need to be willing to come back to your home country. So be it South Africa, Ireland, whatever, you need to be willing to come back. So you're not here in America to stay for good. So you need to be willing to go back once your visa expires, which is either you go back in 6 months, or you extend it for up to 3 years or a year or whatever. But once the visa expires, you need to be willing to come back to South Africa, at most in 3 years. The way that you would get the jobs here on the H2B visa, you either go directly through the employer, which is like the country clubs, the hotels, or whatever you're trying to work for, or you can actually find some agents some agencies that work with H2B visa programs and so on, and they can bring you here to the United States to work here. There's a bunch of different agencies. I've been on 2 different agencies since like the first time that I got here, when I was still doing my internships in 2012, if I'm not mistaken. So there's different agencies. There's so many, guys. There's like a wide range of them. If you guys needed any, or if you need me to give you a little bit of advice on that, you can always just email me. I did put my email address on my bio, so you can just send me an email and I will send you whatever information you can. I'm just not trying to provide free advertising, guys, so I'm not doing that. Okay, but if you do need help, I will obviously refer you to the 2 agencies that I've used and some of the other ones that I also know. So like I was saying, the approval process, the employer or the agent that you deal with will be the ones that are in charge of dealing with the labor certificate. So they will get the labor certificate for you. I don't know what goes into that, and frankly I don't care, as long as I I get the job and so on. So they deal with that. And then the employer as well is, I don't know these words, guys, but I'm gonna read it because I don't want to make a mistake. So the employer and the agent will also deal with the USCIS approval process, okay, which is like the visa approval process, which I also don't know anything about. And then basically what I know from my side was that I had to then apply for, once they've done all that other stuff and they have gotten your I-797 form, guys, don't drag me if I made a mistake, but if once they get you that, then they'll give you a go ahead to start applying for your visa online. So you'd be applying for your DS-160 form, and they'll give you the link and everything, the agency. I find it easier to deal with the agency, but you can still do it directly with the employer. Like I said, I haven't done that personally, but I know of a few people or a lot of people that have actually done the whole process by themselves and so on. So then you have to go and fill in your DS-160 form and that application form. And then you must also keep and print that form, because you'll need that for your visa interview. And also the other thing that you have to do is schedule an interview. Hi girl. I'm sorry. No, it's okay. Sorry guys. So anyways, my roommate just got here. So then you must print and keep the form that you will be filling in. I think it's mostly self-explanatory on my side, so it's not anything hectic to filling in that DS-160 form. And then you print it and you keep it, because you'll need that for your consulate interview. And then the other thing, once you're done with the application form, you can just go ahead and schedule your consulate interview at your nearest consulate. And the other thing I forgot, guys, is that when you're filling in that DS-160 form, once you're done with that, that's where you'll be paying the $190 that I told you about previously, the visa fee. So that's where you'll be paying that there on that. it's not like you're doing an interview, like a job interview. You're not doing a job interview to get a job. So this process is like towards the very end of your visa process. This is literally, you've got the job and you're going to interview for your visa. So you already have the job. It's not like, you know, but it's still very important. The questions that they usually ask me in the times that I've done this is, you'll get there with all the forms that you need. I'll go into that in the next thing, so in the next point. But basically you'll go there with your file full of all the stuff that you need to bring, and they're just gonna ask you, oh, where are you going? You know, and then you just let them know, I'm going to the United States, so I'm going to Naples, Florida. So what are you gonna do there? I'm gonna be working as a chef, as a server, whatever it is that you're going to be doing, which is going to be in your offer letter and so on. And so I don't know what other questions they ask. It's usually just routine questions like that. It's just, what are you going there to do? Where is this club that you're going to work for? Where is your employer situated, and so on. They hardly ever like grill you or anything, and it's such a tricky interview because you never really know if you're saying anything wrong or if you're not saying anything wrong. You either get the visa or you don't. I don't know what actually goes into you not getting the visa and so on. The times that I've done it, I've gotten the visa, and it's been as simple as just them asking you where you're going and what are you going to do there and how much are you going to be getting paid, which is going to be on your offer letter. And then the one thing to note, guys, once you're doing this interview or when you're going to the US consulate, you will be going there with your passport, which I will also mention on the things to bring to the consulate interview. So you will be going there with your passport. If they take your passport, if that interviewer by the window, you just like, it's like a little window and then you speak to them there. If they take your passport and they say, please give me your passport, then guys, you are approved. Okay, you are approved for your visa. But if they don't take it, which has not yet happened to me, and I know it has happened to some people, then your visa is not approved. But if they ask you for your passport, then they're not going to take it back from you, and then they don't give it back to you, then your visa is approved. And then you basically, on the DS 160 form, when you're filling that in, I think there's an option that asks you if you want to have your visa delivered at home or if you want to go and collect it at your nearest DHL store, office or whatever. I've done both options. I found it easier and better for me to just go and have them and pay, like, I think there's an amount that I paid, I can't remember really, but I found it easier for me to just go and have it delivered at home. But if you can't do that financially, then you can go get it at the DHL office. It usually takes about, I guess, I'd say 2 weeks at most, because I don't want to say 7 days, but let's say 2 weeks at most for them to, it's just for them to go and stamp your visa and to give you your visa on your passport, and that's it. For the documents that you need to bring to the visa interview, it's going to be the DS 160 form that I mentioned that you have to fill in when you're applying for your visa. So your visa application form that you've printed and saved. So you'll need to bring that to the consulate interview. You'll need to also bring the DS 160 confirmation page, which it will tell you though. So once you're doing there online, it will tell you need to save this. So it will be printed in one of your DS 160 forms. So it'll be there. You need to bring that. You also need to bring your your I-797 form approval notice, which you would get this from either your employer if you are applying for you coming here, or for the H2B visa if you are applying it directly with the club or with the employer, or you would get it from your agent. I personally got it from my agent that I'm currently dealing with. So they would give you that form excuse me. So they would give you that form, and That's what you'd need. You need to bring your valid passport, as mentioned before. So you would need to bring that, because that's where they're gonna stamp your visa. That's the passport that they'll be taking to go and give you your visa. And then you would also need one passport like photo, or like a visa style photo. You would have, something I think I forgot to mention, you would have needed this visa photo as well, from what I remember, for you to apply for that DS-160 form. So while you're doing it online, so the other thing that you would need to actually have with you there is your passport copy, because I think they take that if I'm not mistaken. And then you would also need a visa photo on there, on your profile that you'd be applying. So then you would already have these. I went and got, I think, 2 if not 4 of the passport photos, and that's what I used for myself. And then the other thing that you would need, very important, is proof of ties. So basically what this means is it's something that shows the interviewer or the US government that, like I mentioned before, the requirements is that you would need to show that you are willing to come back to your home country, to South Africa, and so on. So excuse me guys, so you would need to have proof of ties. What I brought the first time I came here for my internships, I had a letter written by the college that I was at, and they wrote me a letter saying that I'm here for my internships and I'm going to be coming back home to graduate college in 2014. And then the second time I came, I actually had like my bank statements. You can have an affidavit from your family saying that this is my kid, she's going to be coming back. If you have kids, you can also use that, have an affidavit saying that you have kids, a signed affidavit. And then the other thing that I brought was my car finance statement, because I have a car at home. So then I brought that, because then that shows that I still need to be paying this, and I'm obviously coming back because I've got some assets or whatever that at home there. And the other thing that I brought was my business profile and bank statement for my business. So then that's something that I brought. So you can, I'm sure there's like, you can Google this and find out exactly what to bring, but that's what proof of ties is what's actually going to give you reason to come back to South Africa. To be here in the United States, I think it's different for everyone. I've been one of the few lucky people. Like this time when I came, I was going back to an employer that I'd already worked for, so it was pretty easy. I think I was done and dusted with everything in like 2 months at most. I think I started the process I think it was mid-October, and then by December I was already in the United States. The process does take between 60 to 160 days, or 120 days for the whole visa process to be approved and all this stuff. So this is you interviewing for a job, you getting the job, applying for your visa, going to the consulate, and then waiting for your passport to be sent back to you. And so it's not, guys, like there's some people that I've heard will panic when it comes to this part and think, oh my gosh guys, I'm not going there anymore, like this is just too much, it means that I didn't get anything. So the minute you get the job, guys, you've got the job and everything is sorted. The only other thing that you have to stress about is the consulate interview. So once you've gotten the job, that's the hard part, getting the job. And then once you have the job, the other hard part would be getting the visa, which is what you'd get at the at the US consulate. So it's just a matter of waiting, guys. You can it's between, like, you can wait, like be as lucky as me and get like within a month and a half you're already traveling, or other people end up waiting for like 4 months. It's literally, there is no actual algorithm to this. It's just sometimes it takes time and sometimes it doesn't, but the most that you would most likely be waiting for is, I would say, about 4 months. And that's because like right now we are starting the process of applying to go up north. So that process will literally, so right now we in, I get the date. So right now we in December. So we already started the process of applying to go back up north, like to New Jersey or to New York or wherever, North Carolina, whatever. So you start this process like now in December. and then that process goes on until you actually leave in May. So we only leave here in May. So it's either you're here for October until May, or you are up north for May until October. So it's a long process, but don't panic is what I'm gonna say, because it is a long process. I'd say give yourself just 6 months off, just so that you don't say, oh my gosh, but she said it's 4 months and still give 4 months and then I still don't have anything. So just wait, rather, let's say 6 months, just to be safe, so that you don't like get anxious and antsy. Initially, when I went into this, I thought that there was an age restriction. Like, I know obviously, like as is with other things or most things, is that you need to be at least 18 years old to apply for this visa, which I don't think is unreasonable. The other agent that I was with, or the other agency that I was with initially when I came here for my internships, it said it's 18 to I think 35. So, but most of the time it's like 18 to like 45 years old that you can still do this. I mean, if you can still do it longer than that, you know, there's literally not really much of an age restriction. It's just that, like, this is what I know is that you can, as long as you're like 18 and above, it's okay for you to go onto the program. Don't judge me. Regards to that, the employer will provide or will pay for your flight tickets. So there's two options that you can have. It's either you pay for your own flight ticket, and then they will reimburse you when you get here. So they will pay you back once you get here. You just have to show them your proof of payment for that flight ticket. Or you can just be like me and say, well, I'm broke, you know, I'm broke and all this stuff, and get them to pay for it. So regardless, the employer's paying for it. It's either you want to pay for it yourself. When you pay for it, the upside is that if you pay for it yourself, you get to choose the kind of flight experience that you want to have. So if you don't want to be going around the whole world just to come back to America, you know, obviously you would rather pay for it yourself. But if you are strapped for finances, so the employer will pay for it. But then when they pay for it, they choose your flight for you. So you could literally be stuck in Dubai, or I don't know where. Most of the time I've been stuck in Dubai. You could be stuck there, and then they, for like 24 hours layover, or however long it is. I think my longest was only like 3 hours, so it wasn't bad. But you could be stuck there for quite some time. So it's literally up to you. The whole point is you're gonna get your money back if you pay for the flights yourself, or you can have them pay for the flights themselves, and then you just go there for free if you don't have the money right then. You need to have for yourself, what to keep in mind is spending money. So they will not be providing you with money to spend while you're here in the US for the first few weeks that you are not getting paid, because you're gonna come and then you're gonna work here, and then you only get paid, like, especially in Florida you get paid bi-weekly, which is every 2 weeks, and then in New York or wherever, so anywhere up north, you get paid once a week or every week, so, or you get paid weekly. So you need to have your own spending money. Initially, when I first came here, guys, like for my internships, I was so broke, guys. So the amount that I came with was $200, which I think my sponsor had given me what was it, 2,000 rands to come here, and that's all I had. Which wasn't bad, guys, because at the same time you don't know anything in America, so the odds of you actually wanting to go and explore and all this stuff in the first 2-3 weeks that you're here are so slim, because you're going to be coming here the first 2 weeks, they're going to be putting you into like hardcore training, so it's going to be a lot of things that you're doing and you're trying to adjust to this new world that you're in, because guys, it really is a new world. Or you can just okay, girl. Or you can just basically adjust to this new world that you're in. The second time I came here, because I had been working second time. The third time that I came here. This is the second time I came here was straight after graduating. So the third time that I came here in 2019, I had been working, so I had saved up some money for this, and I came with a little bit more money than. So it's dependent on you. If you feel like you're gonna come here and you wanna party immediately and do all of this, yes, you will need a lot more money than other people. But I would advise at least $500, which I don't know what it works out to in rands, but you can just Google it based on the different currencies or the exchange rate that we currently have. But that's how much I would say you would need for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks at most if you're stretching it, because then you would need some money to buy groceries, and then the other is just for in case there's an emergency or whatever. So I'd say the positive things is, like I said or I previously mentioned, is the employers do pay for your flights if you just say that you don't have funds to get here right then. So they do that, or they will reimburse you regardless. The accommodation is provided, so the agent, actually let me scratch that, the employer will find accommodation for you in whichever state or city that you're in. So in Florida, like the accommodation that you would get in Florida is a lot more luxurious than the accommodation that you would get in New York, because I mean everybody knows, like, it's New York, you know. So they provide the accommodation. Transport is provided for you guys when you go to work. So they provide it for you at no cost. The accommodation, you do pay for accommodation, guys. You do pay rent. You do pay rent, so it's not like it's free accommodation. Up north, I don't know why I keep saying up north. I hope you guys understand when I'm saying up north. I'm talking about New York and all those other places that are not in Florida. So in those places, they do sometimes have accommodation that's free. It's not going to be the greatest accommodation, like I said. It's not going to be the one. So which is, but it is what it is, guys. It's the price that you're paying to be able to travel and work in America, you know. So I don't think it's much of a price to pay. That's, you know, being at home and not actually making any money or whatever. And then the other thing is that they also provide, this is still the pros, is that they also provide you guys with meals when you're on shift. So when you're at work, you will get a meal per shift. Depending on where you are, I know there's some clubs up north that will charge you for the meals, like an employee discount. I've personally never worked at a place that does that. The places that I choose based on, I want my food to be free, okay, because I eat so much. So yeah. And then when it comes to the negatives, I would say not really negatives, but things to just keep in mind. That's like something is you will have to undergo a drug test, especially here in Florida. You need to undergo a drug test. The minute you get to America, they will make you take a drug test. Okay, so they will send you to one of the doctors that's appointed by them. You'll go there and they will get your drug test. So you need to make sure that you guys are clean. Like, you need to make sure there's nothing in your system. Like, I'm talking, guys, like weed, patch, nothing. Okay, so I'm sure you guys know how long all this stuff stays in your system. So if it's, I don't know, be it like a month or longer, I would advise just taking like maybe 3 months once you know you want to go onto this program to just get a voice. Whew. So basically taking like 3 months, if not more, to just not have anything in your system other than alcohol, obviously, because it's not really considered a drug. There's some places that won't do drug tests, but to be safe, I would say just stay away from anything that's gonna. There has been people, guys, that come here for like a month or so and they get sent back home. So you don't want to be one of those people that came all this way just to smell America and then to go back, you know. And then the other negative that I would mention, so that you guys don't expect that this is like, you know, you're living the Beyonce lifestyle and all this stuff, is that you are gonna be sharing your housing with other people. Sometimes it's so your bedroom you will most likely be sharing, depending on where you are, depending on the club that you're at. There are some clubs that don't want people to share, and they will provide you with your bedroom you'd be alone, so you would have your own bedroom and so on, and then only share like the communal space, which is like the kitchen and the lounge and so on. But most of the places, like 99% of the places, especially here in Florida, will have you sharing with someone. So you will have to have a roommate. They put like beds, 2 beds in the room, and then you share the space in the room, and then it's either 2-bedroom apartment, even if it's 1-bedroom apartment, you would still be sharing it. Even if it's 2 bedrooms and so on, you'd be sharing it. So for 1-bedroom apartment with 2 of you guys, 2-bedroom, 4 people, and so on. So it's definitely a shared housing kind of situation. It's not that you're gonna come here and then you're gonna have your own apartment that they provide to you guys at a discounted rate or whatever. It's definitely shared housing. So if that's something that's not for you, then it's not for you. But for me, it's something that I can deal with. So I thought I'd just mention that as well. For the negatives, you get used to it, so it's not like anything bad or whatever. And the accommodation is so nice, you know. Ooh. Yes. So I'm trying to find an exit, guys. So yeah, guys, anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it added a little bit of value to you and it gave you a little bit more information than what you had initially when you came into watching this video. And I personally hope to see you guys again in my next video. And guys, it's only gonna get better from here. You know, I'm still learning this YouTube thing, so if you guys are enjoying the content that I'm providing to you guys, I know the videos are very long. It's because I talk too much. So if you're enjoying the content and all this other stuff, please just like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also share it with everyone else, because you know I'm trying to get the numbers up. So and then I will see you guys again. I'm trying to post every week. I failed this week because I think I'm already on like 8 or 9 days. I don't know when I'm gonna actually upload this video, but I'm trying to post every week just to, you know, I heard some people already asking me, Hanti, where's your next video? You said you were gonna give us every week. So I'm sorry about that, guys, but my off days change and all this. So thank you again. I look forward to having you guys again next time and getting to know each other. As I mentioned before, guys, as you saw with me, a glass of wine a day keeps the doctor away. I don't think that's a real thing, but anyways, guys, I'm making it a real thing. Okay, so thank you.